This is a Rogue Media Network podcast. This is Central Texas Life with Ann Harder.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Central Texas Events. And there is a milestone event for a very special house in Waco on Bosque Boulevard. And I have with us here Patty Renaud, you are the current president of the Waco Federation of Women's Clubs.
Yes.
And Lucy Murphy, tell me your role. I know you got in touch with me.
Well, I'm a member of the Waco Utopian Music Club.
Ah, okay.
And so I'm a worker bee supporting Patty in this event.
Okay, so the house I'm talking about is at 2900 Bosque Boulevard, and a very special place in my memory as about a maybe 10-year-old girl played my first piano recital. Scared to death in my Easter dress, and anyways, so those kind of memories just.
You and many other young women.
I know. That's where you went to do your piano recitals.
Yes. I've had several students from there that have told me, oh, I remember having those piano recitals, my mom making me go and nervous. And
oh, yeah, everybody's sitting in the audience. And I'm picturing it exactly. But yeah, what a beautiful house. I always remember it was a very elegant, stately home. It's been a part of the Women's Federation of Clubs for almost 70 years.
Well, since 1954.
Since 1954.
Yes.
And but the actual organization is much older. Let's talk about that.
Well, the Waco Federation of Women's Clubs was formed in 1898. A woman named Kate Rotan was one of our women that started it, but in 1897 she decided she was going to expand. So she invited women's clubs from across Texas to come to a convention in Waco. And so as a result of that, 4 clubs decided to form what was then called the City Federation Club. So we had the Waco Utopian Music Club as one, the Press Club, the Literary Club, and then the Woman's Club of Waco, all formed the Waco Federation Women's Club that we have now.
Right, and so the house was bought in 54, as you say, and then that provided basically a location for not only club meetings, fashion shows, and music performances, weddings. Yeah, you got married there. Tell me about it. Why did you choose the club?
Well, my mother was a member of American Businesswomen's Association, and they have a caterer there. They have a beautiful meeting room in the front, and we were looking for a small wedding at a beautiful place, and so because she was a member, I was able to get married there. Right in front of the big fireplace that we have, so it's wonderful.
Well, beautiful, and this was in 80? When did you get married?
1987.
87. You got married.
August the 1st, and it was so hot.
Yeah.
Now we do not meet now in July and August because it's so hot. But
so the house is not air conditioned?
It does have air conditioning. We just put in 2 new air conditioning units on the second floor. Because we do have a stall show in March, and it's sometimes can be a little warm, so
for the models to get
we
dressed.
put in 2 there, and then on the bottom floor, there are 3 air conditioners that they put in there. So it is air conditioned. 3rd floor, no air conditioning yet.
That's Mother Nature. You open the windows and
you get some airflow.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I have never been upstairs though, and so I'm going to have an opportunity because you're having an open house and a big celebration on the 20th of April, right, in the afternoon.
From 2 to 4. 2 o'clock we'll have a short little program. We're going to do a picture outside of everybody, and then we'll have a tour of the house. Now the tour is going to include all 3 floors. But we're still renovating a lot of it. Wallpaper from 1950s is not staying on, so we're taking some of that off. We're painting. Lucy is part of my painting crew. So there's about 4 ladies, and we're going in and painting and peeling paint, which is really fun,
Well, and
this
there's
much.
probably maybe some lead involved.
Could
some,
be.
some abatement issues.
We're
Yes.
wearing masks, and one of the rooms, I don't think I gave you the picture of it, but it was me in a total suit with a mask getting the wallpaper
Pulling
down.
because we don't know that there is asbestos in there. Some of the,
Right.
and we've been counseled to be careful. So
Well, it's it's best to err on the side of caution.
absolutely.
Where old buildings and this house not quite 100 years old.
Yeah.
Do you know what can you tell me about the history of the actual house itself?
Well, the original owner were the Clements, and no S on there though, but the Clements, Ben and Ethel, and they had 6 children, and one of their daughters actually got married in the house, but they bought the land in 1923, and built the house 26 and 27, and they lived there, I believe, while they were still building the house. And their daughter Anne got married there, and she married Joe Trashold.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh
so
yeah.
I'm sure
made cabinets and.
I'm sure the lumber probably came from the
I was going
Trashold
to say
Lumber
millwork.
Company.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
that by the Trashold Company.
And so there's a long history of women that we can talk about their names, Goldstein, Miguel.
Sure.
The Leggett's used to own the house, Leggett's Barbecue.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I found another owner of the house, the Gardners. Once they lived there a couple of years, and then they decided it was too big, and they just traded houses with the Strouds. So the Strouds moved to the house, and then the Gardners moved to the Strouds house. So there's lots of history.
There are 5 bedrooms on the second floor,
Right.
Yes.
and so each one of those right now is claimed by one of the clubs,
Okay.
and so that they've kind of taken ownership as far as putting in furniture, painting, hanging artwork, those types of things, and so there's ownership of the clubs on
Right,
the second floor.
personalized.
Yes.
I guess.
Yeah.
So how many total did you probably said? How many total women's clubs are a part of the Federation of Women's Clubs?
Currently, there are 5.
5. Okay.
And then we also have another group called individual members who don't have a club they're a member of, but they were in a club that was a member, but they still want to be a part. So they come to, we have a luncheon every month, so they can come to the luncheon. We have fundraisers, they can be involved in those, the style show. So
I've been involved in that over the
Yeah.
years and performed and done music programs for different organizations there over the years, and of course very fond memories of that beautiful house, and but it's an old house.
Yes, it
So
is.
there's lots of issues with old houses.
Yes.
So we just finished painting the banister on the 3rd floor, because everywhere you'll see when you come to the 3rd floor that we've worked on the 1st floor, the 2nd floor we've just finished most of that. The 3rd floor is where we still need help.
Yes.
So we got one room. It's called the Sun's Gun Room, and right now it has shiplap, but it's not in real good shape. So we're going to think about what we're going to do with that room. There's a sewing room, and the best part of the house, I think, is the 3rd floor chapel.
Really?
Yes, it is.
All wood, and it's beautiful.
It's mahogany, and it has that shape of a church that.
Was it always used for like a kind of a holy place, or?
No, actually, the father, Mr. Clement, used it as his office.
Okay, but
There-
very
there
stately
are-
looking, I'm
There
sure.
are bookshelves with glassed fronts, so it might have been a law library of some, or a library of some sort as well. So.
Yeah, one of the sons was a lawyer, so he could have been. But
Yeah.
They owned the Clement Grain Company.
Right.
So they had that as an office.
A lot of historic Waco home names that are synonymous with the history there of the Federation of Women's Clubs Clubhouse. I kind of grew up calling it the Federated Clubhouse, and which is apparently not correct.
Well, many people do call it the Federated Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Especially if you're not a woman who is a member.
Yeah.
You might call it that.
Yeah. Well, it's really neat though that you're able to celebrate such a milestone event, the 5th
Yes.
anniversary. And so many women's clubs were kind of coming about in that time.
Yes.
I think it was kind of interesting that the women who were involved in these clubs were sort of criticized for maybe they're neglecting their wifely duties
Yes.
by being involved in these women's activities, but they didn't have the opportunities necessarily that men did to use their talents and their gifts, and the more wealthy ladies they had maybe a little more free time to think about things they could help.
Yeah.
So that's let's talk a little bit more about Kate Rotan, because she had a real passion for libraries.
Yes.
For
Well, yes, the three goals that the women had when they started were to have a public library in Waco, to have a city park for Waco, and to own their own clubhouse. And so by 1932, they had accomplished all three of those. Yes. But the public library that we know today is from that. So there were several women, I think there were 36 women who decided we're going to do this. They donated 36 books, and each of them donated $1, so it was $36 to start the Waco Public Library.
is that right?
Yes.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it is.
That is great. And the club that you're involved with is Utopian,
Yes.
and is it the oldest?
Yes, the oldest.
Yeah.
It was formed in 1894, and it is currently the longest music club in Texas. And then in 1898, we joined the Federation. So
Okay, so you've got a long and storied
Oh,
history.
my goodness.
So what got you interested in the Utopia? Are you a music teacher? Or?
I am. I just retired. I was taught high school choir at Waco University High School here in town. And during that time, one of the Utopian members reached out to my group and said, "Hey, could you all come sing?" And so my group started singing for their Christmas musicals.
Oh, good, yeah.
And then the Utopians kind of adopted my group, and they had opened up the house to us to have our coffee houses, which is a fundraiser, which is wonderful. And then now that I'm retired, I'm thinking, you know what, I'm going to give back a little bit. And it's lovely people, wonderful people with a great mission. What do we do? We want music in the community. We provide scholarships. We provide opportunities for students to perform. So
Yeah, I know you've been a great supporter of the youth chorus
yes,
of Central Texas. My good friend Florence Scattergood
Absolutely.
conducts that, and
Yes.
she's always tells me about the grants that she's able to get
yes, yes.
from you all.
And what a thrill for us to be able to support such a fine group of Florence Scattergood, godmother of choral music. And
She is.
she is amazing, and aren't we glad that we're able to keep supporting that she
Yeah,
can keep
yeah.
teaching those students and sharing that.
Yeah. It's a great training and opportunities for kids to perform.
That's wonderful.
So some of the other organizations you mentioned, some of the originals, the press club. I thought, well, that piques my interest, but
The press club,
the press club. Yeah.
the literary club. At first, I think something that Kate Rotan said was that, women wanted to get together socially, but also to learn things. So they had book clubs. They had
There's a Shakespeare Club.
the Shakespearean
yeah.
Club, yes. And so we still have the Shakespearean room. So what we've done is we have plaques on the doors. There's a Shakespearean Club, there's a Valentine Book Club, the President's Club. But a funny story that as I'm reading,
yeah.
I found out was that the Shakespearean Club has a bust of Shakespeare. And they had it in the window of the house. Well, the police kept getting phone calls about a ghost in
the
window of the house.
And it does
The
look like it could be a haunted house.
People would drive by, or
Yeah.
the neighbors across the street.
It was
So
Shakespeare.
They thought there was a ghost in that room, so they actually had to remove that bust from the window.
From the window.
We still have the bust in the house. It's on a desk across the room. But that was one of the funnier stories.
that's all.
Yes,
I knew I'd seen
love
it.
it.
Well, it's just going to be a great day. And the 20th, Saturday the 20th, it's
Yes.
going to be from 2 to 4.
Yes,
And you might have a very special announcement, maybe.
right. You
Stay
might.
tuned, as they say.
Stay tuned. We may have we know that we are getting a city proclamation, though,
Okay, well, of course.
for our 125th.
Well, you should, yeah.
And then we may also get something historical that we can add to our house.
Yeah, yeah. So, how can, if somebody wants to learn more about the house itself, or maybe some of the organizations involved, how would they do that? Is there a website or a Facebook page or anything like
We
that?
do have a Facebook page, and it's called Waco Federated Women's Club.
That's where I get the Federated.
Because the person who started the Facebook just put Federated. And
Because we all think it is.
It's actually Federation, but that's
Federation
okay.
of Women's Clubs. That's right.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
We also have a couple of books that have been written. The Red Book was in the public library. And also at Baylor, the Texas Collection has a copy. But this is from 1898 to 1998, so the first 100 years. And then I, with a few other ladies, have written the new book, 1999 to 2024.
Yeah.
And so it talks about, this one mostly has the earlier clubs, DAR, the Henry Downs chapter,
Right,
for
and
members.
that Kate was a member of that
Kate
as
was a
well,
member of that.
and the National Society of Colonial Dames of America. She was
Yes.
one of the early dames
Yeah, so there
in
were
Texas. Yeah,
many, and there's pictures in the book, so you can look at some of the old pictures, and then we've got some new pictures of our group now
Yeah.
that we will be selling the book at our celebration on the 20th.
good.
And then, of course, we always would love to have donations to help us complete the renovations of the house. Mostly, we need paint and peeling paint, and wallpaper.
Sweat equity.
Oh, need some
Sweat
folks to come and help.
equity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also there's opportunities if you're looking for a place to serve. Come be a member
Okay.
of the groups there, and there is an opportunity if you have a group and you're looking for a place to be home. Come be home make your home at the Federation Clubhouse.
That's
Yes.
exciting.
And so what we do is each month, each of the clubs that are members have a day they meet. So I'm a member of Alpha Delta Kappa, so we meet the second Saturday of every month, now October through May. Waco Utopians meet the first Saturday every
First
month.
Saturday.
And so each group has a day. And then we have the Waco Federation of Women's Club executive board meeting and luncheon. And so we meet the first Thursday. Anybody can come. And if you're interested, you can always contact me or any member that's of the club. So.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's great to hear how vibrant that historic home is. I mean, it's not theoretically historic, but it is to me. It figures greatly in my memory,
Yes,
in my
for all of
history.
Yes.
Very fun, and I'm so excited about the open house, and we'll certainly plan to be there.
We're very excited too, and we hope as many people, that can come will
Yeah,
come.
it's 2900 Bosque. There's parking and plenty of parking,
Yes.
and that's from 2 to 4 on the
And
20th.
I would want to remind people not to park on Bosque because
Right.
that's actually a driving lane.
That would not work.
But along the sides, we
The
have a
side
large
streets, yeah.
parking lot,
Yes.
which used to be the tennis court, which is still, you can still see the tennis court laid out there, but
Oh.
that's
And no
parking.
pickleball during the open house this
That's
time.
right.
Maybe later.
Do that later. Save
Yeah.
that for later.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
right.
thank you again,
Thank
Lucy.
you.
Thank you so much, Patty. I mean, it's just really going to be fun. I appreciate all you're doing
We're excited.
through this, and thank you for being with us for Central Texas Events. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Central Texas Life with Ann Harder is part of the Rogue Media family. Be sure to check out our other shows at roguemedianetwork.com. Please rate this show 5 stars on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Join us again soon for more Central Texas Life with Ann Harder. This has been a Rogue Media Network production.